Hello, welcome to part 2 of my Freewind winter project. Last time I was talking about Mitas E07 tyres. Anybody that knows me will attest to the fact that I'm a tight-fisted so-and-so, and I had every intention of putting them on myself with a pair of tyre levers, but I ended up going down the tyre garage, and I consider that to be €25 extremely well spent. It was definitely not going to happen. So there she is. She feels very sure-footed now, I have to say. So far, E07 tyres, fantastic. So this week's project is putting a new chain on. Here's the old sprocket, which I took the opportunity of cleaning up while I had the back wheel off. And I'm going to go with the sprockets, the existing sprockets, which some people say you're not supposed to do, and I'd be inclined to agree, but this bike has got a smaller sprocket on the front than standard. This is how I get around the not having a centre stand problem. So Suzuki, I suppose, took the opportunity of sparing themselves a few quid by not putting a centre stand on. I think the main reason for that is because of the fact that the bike is height adjustable. So if you change the height, the centre stand is no good. They do two different height centre stands for the lower setting and the higher setting. But anyway, I don't have either, so this is what I do: chunk of wood, have the jack set up on one side, and then that's right under the place where the centre stand would go if it did have one. And up she goes. Pretty solid. I don't think I want to jump around on the back of the bike, but as long as you're careful, it's stable enough to work on. So yeah, with the front sprocket, it's got a 14 tooth. There's a lovely rear tyre. Look at that. Got a 14 tooth rear front sprocket. This is the chain. So it was filthy when I bought the bike, and I cleaned it up with diesel, oiled it up, hoping to run around on it for a little while, but when I adjusted it up, this is about the tightest spot. There's a tight spot on the chain, and then a little bit further on it's extremely slack, so it's just no good. It's flopping about. That needs replacing. No good at all. So here's the tool. It's a DID style chain splitter riveter, which I got off eBay for £21.75, I think, including postage, which was a bit of a bargain. If it works, there's a part that pushes the link out and rivets it over. So this is equipped to do 3 different sizes of chain, 3 different sizes of link, I suppose. And this part, because no instructions come with the tool, I'm guessing fits in there. Looks like it does, with the correct size pin. And the link, this is the new link, just to show you there. Look, that fits in very snugly into that little hole, so that you can get it squarely fixed over your chain. So I'm not going to grind off the tops of the rivets, which some people say you should do. I'm just going to drive the pin through like this, if it will go. So the only thing I noticed when I start to do the tool up is that the driving pin looks like it's just going to skid off. When you start to do it up, it shifts around on the rivet and just looks like it's going to come off. But I figured, let's just try. So I start doing it up. Sure enough, it does skid around on top of the rivet, but it doesn't actually come off. And as long as you're careful as you're tightening the tool up, make sure that when you're going to go actually through the plate, through the link, that it's right over the hole, which is what I'm doing here. I just slacken it off, get it shifted, make sure it's right over the hole in the link, and then off you go. Do it up. It doesn't take a lot of force, it really doesn't. It's yeah, not a difficult job, as long as you're careful. So they put a 14 tooth sprocket on sometimes in order to make the bike more useful off-road for low, just to gear it down a bit, and also around town. So I've been riding around for a few weeks with it on the 14 tooth sprocket, and it's okay, but it's yeah, we'll see. I'm going to try it with the 15 tooth sprocket as well and see which I prefer, and then next time when I have to change the chain and sprockets, I'll know which ratio to go for. So there it is, the chain split, off she comes. As you can see, it's completely knackered. So when I was taking the chain off, originally I was thinking about continuing to run around on the 14 tooth sprocket for a few weeks and see how it drives, because up until now the drive hasn't been very nice because of the slack parts in the chain. It's not very nice on take up or releasing the drive, quite harsh. So I thought I'd see how it was, but you can see this sprocket's not really going to be any use. It's very loose. I don't know if it's supposed to rattle around like that. It doesn't seem right to me. There's supposed to be some kind of damper behind that plate that holds it on, but you have to shave off around the edge of the plate in order to get the 14 tooth sprocket on, which is what somebody's already done. You can see there's that seal, which looks okay considering this bike's done nearly 100,000 kilometers. It looks alright, but they do have a habit of popping out, those seals, apparently. So there is a retaining plate, I think, if it's the same as the DR650, that you can get to hold them in place, but it's been in there for a while, so yeah, I'll bear that in mind. Anyway, so this sprocket is, as you can see, too worn to be any use. Here's the 15 tooth, which is looking alright to me. That'll do for a bit. See how we get on with that, see what the drive's like, and see how it is. Here's my new chain, JT 110 link 525. See, when that's gone on, it's much nicer fit, looks nicer. The old sprocket came off with that way around, with the raised part facing outwards. But the new sprocket, when I tried to get the screws to go, and they wouldn't screw in. So I've put it on the other way around. Who knows which way it's supposed to go on? The thing was, the screw thread didn't go all the way through the sprocket when I examined it, so it had to really go on this way around, even though the writing is on the other side of the sprocket. Anyway, if anybody knows about that. There's a new link just pressed on, grease and the O-rings in place. And then you press the plate on like this, still in position A, and the heads of the rivets on the other side of the chain are bearing against the tool so they don't push through. And then we get the riveting part now in position B, and you do this up so that it just gets flush with the link and spreads the rivet over without doing it up too tightly. I had to flip the tool over. It's in position B, so you do one rivet and then flip the tool over to do the other one. I used the plate in the back of the tool at this juncture, just to I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but it kept everything in position. And there we are. Just a question of tightening up the chain with the adjusters on the back, and that wants to be about an inch of play by the time you've finished, between 2 and 3 centimeters they say, so call that an inch. That looks about right to me, so there we are. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the drive will be much nicer than it was, much smoother. And it'll be very interesting to see what it's like with the 15 tooth sprocket on. See what the drive's like with that. So here they are, the Mitas E07s. I have to say she feels very sure-footed. We've had a lot of wet weather recently and she's great on the road. And although I don't have a lot of experience of off-roading, that's what I bought this bike for, to give it a go. And this afternoon I went out on some tracks, and yes, it got a bit hairy after this. There were some quite rough rocks, muddy rocks that I had to go over, and I really think I'll have to put a 14-tooth sprocket back on the front. It's my first impressions. For riding off-road, 15-tooth sprocket is it's a bit high geared. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.